say.
Okay, I thought the game was won at the line of scrimmage today. Like any time that you can go into a game and almost rush for 300 and limit those guys to about 75 yards was a great job by our offensive and defensive linemen. And then if you look at the plus minus when it comes to sacks, which obviously are our explosive momentum plays, you know, we were able to have 7 sacks and they didn't have any. So I think that's really where the story of the day is up front, and then it turns to the defense. You know, if you allow somebody not going to get in your end zone, you're going to win a lot of games. And that's an explosive offense. They put up some big numbers this year. Great receiver, some great backs, and a quarterback that has made it a lot of plays on the run. So at the end of the day, I'd say that we are extremely proud of our players. You know, after last week, none of us were happy about that, and you know, throughout the week, I really thought that a lot of people trying to get in, tear them apart, and I thought they did a great job of preparing and staying focused and practicing really hard, and coming out here today and playing really well. And we need to, from our perspective, being the coach, we got to make sure that we appreciate effort like that. It wasn't perfect. You know, we screwed some things up on offense, but I thought our guys played really hard and played physical, and that very easily could have been a hangover game that you see around the country.
Was the plan to feature the running game like that?
Yeah, it really was. You know, just felt that we had some matchups that we liked up front. Obviously, Collett being back makes a big difference for us, as you can see in the games he's played versus the game he didn't play, when it comes to running the ball and it comes to sacks. And so he's one of the leaders of our team, and he really makes everything go up there. So that was a big part of it. And then I thought the 2 backs ran hard and ran well right from the beginning. Unfortunately, put the ball on the ground one time with Curtis. Otherwise, I felt, you know, we could have opened the game up a little bit more.
Was there something on the game film that you watched from Cal about the left side of their defensive line that allowed you to pretty much dominate on the running game on the right side?
Yeah, we did run away from 50 a little bit. You know, put him on the backside. He's a good player in their system, and then move him around over there. And so we did some more schematic things with moving the tight ends to run at certain people and run away from certain people. So I thought our players really responded well, and that's a hard game on the center because of that there was extremely multiple, just like the week before. And so he handled it really well. It paid off with the line playing better, and it was good to see our backups go in and do well too. You know, and Abe Markowitz started at left guard for us. So if you can give up no sacks and almost rush for 300 yards, it's a good day up there.
Can you talk about the decision to start Markowitz and how he played today?
Yeah, you know, just that's the direction that we went, and I thought he did well. Fortunately, he wasn't available last week, or he would have been in there last week as well.
You talked about, you know, having playing with style in Los Angeles to get the crowd excited and everything. Do you like the style that your team played with today, even though it wasn't one of those sort of, you know, high-scoring video game-like performances?
I mean, obviously it's not as fun. You know, it's fun winning 50-0, and you know, that doesn't happen every week, unfortunately. And so some games are going to be like this, and we're really seeing a change in defenses almost every week that we play. You know, we're seeing a complete game plan about number 9 and number 2. And so that's one of the good things about throwing those guys the ball so much early in the year is, you know, people do what they did today. And they spend the whole week trying to take away those 2 guys, and that opens up your running game.
When you talked about this week being a lot of people trying to tear this team apart, I mean, this being you had to recover from the disappointment. What was your message to the team and trying to get them to do that?
Just stick together, you know, go back, and everybody gets knocked down. Every team has always lost, you know, at some point in their career. And it's how you respond from that. You know, do you go back to work and do you practice really well? Like we talked about every day at the end of practice this week, for those of you guys there, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So this was our best week of practice, and you know, I think it showed out there today. And we could have even got even more out of hand if we would have nailed it, if we would have hit a couple plays.
Talk about the return of Adari, what it meant to your offense today.
Well, I think it helps me a lot. You know, not that it sounds selfish, but as a play caller, you know, to know your kicker's range, and to have him back was good. He kicked really well earlier this week, and so it was great to have him back. And you know, and he obviously helped us there. The snap before the half was low, made the kick really difficult, and he still made it. So good to have him back.
Walker and Turk split time in the first half. What did you see out of Walker that made you stick with him in the second half?
You thought he was playing really well, and so it's good to see. Anytime you do something like that, you know, you like to see guys respond the right way and not sit around and pout and mope. And Andre had a great week of practice and went out and played better.
You mentioned Walker struggling last week. Was there a reason you mentioned Marcus Martin because you decided to change the starting
No, it was